Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development. Today, we are also celebrating and commemorating World Social Work Day, World Social Work Week, and World Social Work Month 2025 as part of International Conference on Social Work and Social Sciences in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing, International Federation of Social Workers, Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development, EQ for Peace Worldwide Inc. USA, Pure Earth Foundation, SNR Consulting Engineers, International and National Fraternity. Today, we are also commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and also United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 and Viksit Bharat in 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns. And celebrating, commemorating open house, open day, open platform for all the social workers to reflect on Social Work Day or Social Work Week, Social Work Month celebrations and commemorations, and also on various aspects of social work like social work education, profession, practice, employment opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities, and so on. So let's take the blessings of Almighty before we continue the sessions.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Those who are interested to share their voice or make presentations are requested to share your details in the chat box. Your name, designation, department, college, or institution, organization, whichever it is applicable, and your place and email ID along with your phone number so that we can invite you as per the message queue order. So today, before we invite you for the presentations or sharing your voices, we shall quickly complete the commemoration so that we can take up more of presentations. Today, we are commemorating Anesthesia Tech Day in US especially, which is celebrated on March 31st every year. The day honors technologists and technicians for their contributions toward anesthesiology and healthcare. Anesthesiologists are integral members of global medical field and their efforts are unparalleled. It's a day for education for aspiring medical and healthcare professionals, a celebration of scientific breakthroughs, and fundraising for further research, learn about history of anesthesia, including the discoveries that made surgical treatment more comfortable for patients. The origin of anesthesia dates back to ancient times when Babylonians, Greeks, and Chinese used natural herbs to be taken orally. Later in 1200s, Italian physician and Bishop Theodoric of Lusa used sponges soaked in mandrake plant extract and opium to relieve surgical pain. The breakthrough of actual medical anesthesia that we know today didn't come immediately. Throughout the centuries, patients who underwent surgery had to tolerate the pain or rely on opium, alcohol, or even a bullet to bite, relieve the agony. When the Civil War came and soldiers had to undergo surgeries and amputations regularly, it was clear that developing more advanced anesthesia had to be priority for medical professionals. The first surgical procedure that used anesthesia was in 1846. Dentist William T.G. Morton of Boston, Massachusetts, used sulfuric ether to anesthetize a patient for a vascular tumor removal surgery. Morton called this discovery lithium after the Lethe river of Greek mythology, which was described as a powerful river that helps remove painful memories. He gained financial success after this discovery. The vast evolution took place in attempts to improve the performance of anesthesia in the medical field. This includes the discovery of laughing gas in 1844 and the successful use of cocaine as a spinal anesthetic in 1890. In 1902, Dr. Matthias J. Seifert of Chicago patented the terms anesthesiology, and today modern anesthesia is a standard tool for medicine and surgeries and tailored according to a patient needs. From dentistry to cosmetics to general medicine, anesthesia has come a long way. The common ingredients of general anesthetics include nitrous oxide and ether variants such as isoflurane, sevoflurane, or desflurane. Sushruta, who is a sage in India in 6th century BC, is often called the father of Indian medicine and father of Indian surgery, who performed the first surgery in the history of mankind. So just like any other branches of science, the field of anesthesiology is under constant research and development. Advancement, fundraising events helps the anesthesiology field gather financial resources, donate to worthy cause. So dissemination of information is vital in the field of science to be constantly updated with the latest milestones and medical breakthrough. Attend anesthesiology seminars and symposiums. The American Society of Anesthesia Technologists and Technicians conducts an annual Anesthesia Tech Week where they celebrate everyone in field of anesthesia. Educational events have fun activities like a poster making design contest. According to preliminary research, smokers need extra anesthesia before any type of surgery. Anesthesia may not be effective for smokers. The three types of anesthesia are local, regional, and general anesthesia. It is extremely rare occurrence that it's possible to wake up during surgery, but it has been recorded that 1 in every 1,000 patients wakes up during surgery. Plant extracts and essential oils helps aid nausea and dizziness, which are side effects of anesthesia. Aromatherapy helps post-surgery. The University of Toronto's Faculty of Medicine found that anesthesia causes memory loss. Anesthesia Tech Day is educational to many people, particularly to aspiring medical professionals. It helps them narrow down their choices after their general education and would allow them to realize that being an anesthesiologist is a career option they can take. Anesthesia wouldn't be advanced and stable medical tool we know today without centuries of research. Scientists can still further advance its features with enough funding for research and development. Technologists and technicians are often unsung in honoring medical professions. This day gives them the spotlight of their contributions and hard work. Today is also commemorated as World Backup Day. So we are fortunate enough to have access to the most powerful computers today, but what you do if you lost everything on your computer? Crashes happen more often than you think. Data recovery can cost you hundreds of dollars, and recovering everything you stored on your computer is not guaranteed. We understand life gets hectic and it's easy to forget to back up your files. So join us on March 31st as we celebrate World Backup Day. So the observation originally started as a backup month and later changed to World Backup Day. Maxter, a company specializing in hard drives, initiated this annual celebration, now taking place every year on March 31st. World Backup Day reminds us to make multiple copies of our digital treasures or risk losing them all forever. The day also serves to instill better online and technological practices, considering how reliant humans are on technology now. We still haven't cultivated habits that will ensure that our information and personal data are secure and safe. It happens to all of us that one precious photo or video that was captured to immortalize a moment, but it doesn't exist anymore. Broken hard drives, hacked computers, erratic phones, or any other glitch that erased irretrievable items. We all experienced it. World Backup Day falls on this day before April Fool's Day, which is perfect timing. Pranksters and hackers are prone to play jokes on unsuspecting individuals, so it's better to be safe than sorry. This day was observed for the first time in 2011 and over time has become one day that has become, we won't say we will back up it tomorrow. IBM engineer Reynold B. Johnson came up with the idea of the external hard drive, the IBM 350 disk file, which is the first external hard drive on September 13, 1956. Computer scientist Dr. Joseph Carl Bernard Licklider is believed to have invented cloud storage in 1960s. Toy Story 2 almost wiped a year before the release of Toy Story 2. Somebody enters a command on the drivers where Pixar stores the film files, deleting 90% of the film in 1998. After discussing backups on Reddit, student Ismail Jordan jokingly creates World Backup Day, eventually legitimizing it in 2011. So by the numbers, 60% of the are incomplete backups, 50% the storage of restores that fail, 50% the percentage of people who never know that their computer systems have been attacked, 20% the percentage of small business that are likely to be hacked within 1 year, 20% the percentage of medium-sized business that lose critical data every 5 years. Backup means to create a second copy of any digital file so that it may be restored in case of a data loss event. Experts recommend that companies back up important financial information, records, and client information at least once in a day. Set aside 15 minutes to an hour to back up all the existing files on your desktop, laptop, or PC. Simply purchase a hard drive of your liking. We recommend 1 TB drives or more and copy your files to the drive. Can't buy a hard drive in time? No worries. There are plenty of companies that specialize in storing your documents online. Do your research and figure out which service works best for you. We recommend the Google Cloud, VMware Storage, or Barracuda Cloud Storage, but they all are great. Invite all employees on your team to back up your files with one of the methods above. This will create a safer culture among your staff and prevent any projects from slipping through the crack. The last thing you need to do is a client asking for a file that was wrongly discarded. One small mistake can lead to a disastrous loss of data. New types of viruses can penetrate even the best antivirus protection firewalls. Multiple copies of really important files will put your mind at ease. It's always good to have a copy. That thesis you are writing, back it up because of sudden shutdowns or system shutdowns. In the event that your device fails for good, your personal files will be safe and secure on the cloud storage or alternative device. So wake up and smell the coffee. Crashes happen more often than not. Are you prepared to lose a project you have been working on all semester? Write about those important documents you store to help you get ready for the tax season. Are they easily replaceable? We advise you to make copies if you haven't done so yet. As mentioned above, if your files are irreplaceable, then we highly encourage you to back up your documents. And keep in mind that it is better to be safe than to be sorry. Duplicate your files onto as many storage devices as you like. Make sure that you are clear from the accidents that may occur. Just like opening an old untouched photo album, it can often be a trip down nostalgia lane to dig into old folders on long forgotten hard drives. Today is also commemorated as National Farm Workers Day in US, which is celebrated annually on March 31st to pay tribute to the unsung heroes on a farm who are hired workforce doing the tougher part of the job, such as plowing fields, operator tractors, spreading fertilizers, and trimming hedges. The labor force on farm plays a pivotal role in bringing crops to fruit here. Employed on low wages, they work day and night, crouching on field under the glaring sun in all kinds of climates. Without their relentless hard work, and commitment, farmers wouldn't be able to grow, maintain, and harvest crops on such a large scale. So, on this day, we thank and glorify all workers for making it possible to bring fresh produce to our tables in face of increasing risks and challenges. Today is also commemorated as National Crayon Day in US, which sparks fond memories of childhood creations in full color. Crayons delight our senses not just with their brilliant colors, but also with their distinct smell, the feel of them in our hands, and for some kids, the waxy taste. With over 12 million crayons made daily, one is never far from reach. So grab your box of 64 crayons, sharpener included, and get ready for some artistic expression and nostalgia. Today is also commemorated as National Bunsen Burner Day in US, remembering the history of science and the inventor behind this important tool. Found in every high school laboratory, the Bunsen burner is a staple of our scientific education as well as essential in professional laboratories too. We got all the facts, figures, and fun activities to set your celebrations alight this National Bunsen Burner Day. Robert Bunsen was born in Germany in 1811. His father was chief librarian and professor of modern philology at the University of Göttingen, where Bunsen later embarked on his undergraduate degree at the age of 70. He showed his aptitude for innovation early on, and within just 2 years, he had completed his PhD and was offered a job there. Bunsen enjoyed a significant breakthrough at the young age of 22 when he discovered antidote to arsenic poisoning. But the invention he is best known for today, the Bunsen burner, became his pursuit in 1852 when he took a job at the University of Heidelberg, where he was promised a new laboratory for his work and teaching. The building's designers intended to use gas throughout for lighting as well as laboratory burners, but gas burners were problematic due to the heat of the flame as well as of their simplicity. So whilst the builders got to work on Bunsen's new lab, Bunsen himself also got to work designing a way to make gas burners more effective for laboratory use. He developed a gas burning apparatus that would give different types of flame depending on the airflow, using Isaac Newton's principle of light refraction to give four flames of different colors and intensities. When the building opened in 1855, Bunsen has created 50 of his burners, and in 1857, he published a description of them so that his colleagues could adopt the design. Despite its success, he never patented the idea, as he believed that science should be for the benefit of all and not the profit of one. His design grew in popularity and is still used around the world today in schools and professional laboratories, hence the reason we celebrate National Bunsen Burner Day. Today is also commemorated as Eiffel Tower Day, which is celebrated on March 31st to commemorate the inaugural anniversary of the Eiffel Tower, unveiled to the world on this day in 1889. The iconic monument has withstood the test of time and remains one of the most remarkable wonders of the world. Standing at 1,063 feet, and Eiffel Tower overlooks the city of Paris and symbolizes the triumph of modern engineering and Western civilization. Being one of the most recognizable monuments of the world, Eiffel Tower is a day of celebration for millions of people. From Calcutta to California, people come together to raise a toast to this architectural masterpiece. As the country completed a century of French Revolution, the government of France planned an international fair to display the industrial advancement on the 19th century. A design competition was held in central Paris, and more than 100 artists turned in their ideas. Among the contributors was Gustave Eiffel, who proposed an open lattice iron tower that would be higher than 1,000 feet. With a loaded regime that included the Statue of Liberty, he was able to convince the Centennial Committee that this unimaginable feat was possible. The contract for the building the tower was handed to him in 1887. So, countering years of skepticism, criticism, and even protest, he began working on the project on January 28, 1887. In the short span of 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days, he completed tower and presented it to French government for exposition, and the rest is history. Gustave's vision breathed new life onto the streets of Paris and transformed it into the city of love as we know it. Although that wasn't the intention, in his own words, he wanted the tower to be a symbol of great scientific movement of the 18th century and the revolution of 1789. Today, the tower sits at the heart of Europe and is visited by millions of visitors every year. Since 2000, the golden grandeur of the tower has been complemented with 20,000 6 watts bulbs flash on and off in quick succession for 5 minutes of every flight hour. On March 31st, we celebrate the genius and his invaluable gift to the world. Today is also commemorated as Transgender Day of Visibility, which is an international event on March 31st dedicated to recognizing the resilience and accomplishments of the transgender community. On this day, we celebrate the transgender population amongst us, raise awareness about the struggles they face, and advocate for more protected rights for them in a bid to reform society and empower this community as to so rightfully deserves. Let's join hands together with the trans community to celebrate not fitting in when we all learn to stand out. There is no doubt that the transgender community continues to face discrimination worldwide, be it in the workplace, schools, or society. It has been subjected to immense harassment and inequality in every part of the world for sin of being born different. So therefore, on Transgender Day of Visibility on March 31st annually, we recognize and revere their contribution, success, and relentless resilience in standing tall and strong in the face of injustice. Though this day of visibility, through this day of visibility, we hope to induce moral responsibility and tolerance and lift the restrictions on the rights of transgender people. The most common types of trans people are trans women, trans men, and non-binary people. Trans women are women who are AMAB, assigned male at birth, and transition to female. Trans men and women who were AFAB, assigned female at birth, and non-binary people are people who do not identify with male or female and may be AFAB or AMAB. In 2014, Laverne Cox became the first transgender person to be nominated for an Emmy Award for her role as Sophia Bursett in Orange is the New Black. It took 5 hours for Caitlyn Jenner to hit 1 million followers on Twitter, and he became famous within hours. There are more than 1.4 million people who identify as transgender in the United States, make up of 1% of US population. Gender confirmation surgery costs around $15,500. That's merely an estimated figure. However, gender confirmation surgery, previously wrongfully referred to as sex reassignment surgery, can cost up to $50,000, and some can be as pricey as $1 lakh. Today is also commemorated as Eid al-Fitr, a widely celebrated Muslim festival that will likely fall on March 31st based on the lunar calendar. Eid al-Fitr is commemorated after the end of holy month of Ramadan, when Muslims fast from sunrise till sunset. Thus, it is known as the festival of breaking fast. Many people observe the festival by visiting friends and family, exchanging gifts, making special food and sweets that are synonymous with the festival itself. In many South Asian countries like Pakistan and India, elders of the community give gifts to the money to the children, which are known as Eid. Other religious traditions also see Muslims going for special morning prayer on the day of Eid. Once prayer ends, all Muslims in the congregation, be it a stranger or a friend, exchange Eid greetings by hugging each other. Zakat, which comes from Syriac Arabic meaning purification, is meant to purify the wealth and soul of Muslims. For those who can't afford it and are wealthy enough, zakat becomes compulsory and they must give it to those less fortunate. There are 5 pillars of Islam that a Muslim must always uphold, and one of them is zakat. Zakat is meant to eliminate the socio-economic inequality that communities face. Zakat becomes compulsory for a Muslim after 1 year of them holding a nisab amount of wealth, which is the minimum threshold of wealth. People prepare special food items on Eid al-Fitr, be it sweet dishes like sheer kurma or savory platters consisting of rice and varieties. It's a celebration of food and being grateful for it. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations and we will move on to sharing of experiences or opinions on this open day. If anyone is interested to share, feel free. This is the last day and last opportunity for this year. On the occasion of World Social Work Month, if anyone would like to share, feel free to share your details in chat box so that we can invite you. And we request everyone to fill the registration form, which has been shared in the form of polls in Zoom. Mark your attendance correctly. We request everyone to utilize this opportunity to come forward. So in the meanwhile, I'll be talking on climate change and the role of social workers in addressing the climate change. As we are facing the climate change, which is creating an impact on everyone, and social workers can play a significant role. So climate change represents one of the most pressing global challenges of the 21st century, impacting ecosystems, economies, and societies at local, national, and global levels. As the effects of climate change become more pronounced, social workers play a pivotal role in helping communities navigate the multifaceted challenges it presents. So, here, by analyzing existing literature and examples and the unique contributions of social workers in mitigating and adapting to the impacts of climate change with a focus on community engagement, policy advocacy, and environmental justice. Let's explore the possibilities. So, the ongoing climate crisis has emerged as a defining issue of the 21st century, affected not only the environmental systems but also the social, economic, and political structures. The global consequences of climate change are evident in the increasing frequency of natural disasters, rising sea levels, and changes in weather patterns. These shifts disproportionately affect marginalized communities, exacerbating existing social inequalities and creating new challenges for those already at a disadvantage. As the professionals dedicated to improving the well being of individuals and communities, social workers are uniquely positioned to address the social impacts of climate change. Social work, with its foundation in human rights, social justice, and community empowerment, is an essential tool for mitigating the consequences of climate change and fostering sustainable, equitable solutions. So let's explore the role of social workers in the context of climate change, highlighting how the profession can engage with climate action, support affected communities, and advocate for the systemic change. So, the global impact of climate change has a direct correlation with the work of social workers or social workers do in communities, particularly those already facing socioeconomic hardships. Climate change can aggravate existing vulnerabilities such as poverty, displacement, and health disparities. Social workers engage with these communities to address these both immediate needs and long term adaptations. Climate change is not only an environment issue, but also a social issue as it affects touch every part of human life. The United Nations has recognized climate change as a human right issue, particularly impacting vulnerable populations, including low income communities, indigenous peoples, and people of color. These groups are often excluded from decision making process related to environment policies and are at higher risk for displacement, poor health outcomes, and food insecurity. Social workers, as advocates for justice and equity, have an essential role to play in addressing these disparities. So, social workers' role in addressing climate change can be broadly categorized into three key areas: disaster response, community development, and advocacy. So, each of these areas aligns with the core values and competencies of the social work profession, which emphasizes social justice, human dignity, and collective responsibility. Let's look at the disaster response and recovery. One of the most visible roles social workers play in climate change adaptation is during and after natural disasters. Extreme weather events such as hurricanes, floods, wildfires, and droughts are becoming more frequent and severe due to climate change. Social workers are often on the front lines of disaster response, providing immediate support to affected individuals and communities. This includes offering psychological first aid, securing temporary shelter, and addressing the emotional and psychological trauma caused by these events. In the aftermath of natural disasters, social workers assist with long-term recovery efforts. They help individuals and families navigate the complex process of rebuilding their lives, including accessing social services, mental health support, and resources for economic recovery. By providing trauma informed care and focusing on the long term needs of communities, social workers help build resilience and foster community of cohesion. So, community development also becomes part, along with resilience building. Beyond immediate disaster response, social workers also contribute to climate change adaptation by engaging in community development and resilience building. This includes helping communities prepare for future climate impacts by creating disaster preparedness plans, developing sustainable housing solutions, and enhancing local infrastructure to withstand extreme weather events. Social workers are also involved in building social capital, which is crucial to community resilience. This involves strengthening social networks, fostering community participation, and promoting collective action. By empowering communities to take an active role in their own adaptation strategies, social workers help reduce vulnerability to climate impacts and increase the capacity for self reliance. So, social workers are also advocates for climate change and climate justice and policy change. Social workers are advocates for climate justice, seeking to ensure that climate action policies are equitable and inclusive. This includes advocating for vulnerable populations that are disproportionately affected by climate change, such as low income individuals, people with disabilities, indigenous communities, and children. Social workers help to amplify the voices of these populations in policy discussions, ensuring their needs and concerns are addressed in the development of climate policies. Furthermore, social workers contribute to the design of policies aimed at both mitigating the effects of climate change and ensuring that adaptation strategies are socially just. This may involve advocating for renewable energy initiatives, supporting policies that reduce carbon emissions, or pushing for the development of climate resilient infrastructure in unobserved communities. By promoting climate justice, social workers play a vital role in shaping policies that protect both people and the planet. So despite the significant contributions of social workers in addressing climate change, there are several challenges that hinder their ability to fully engage with the issue. One of the primary challenges is lack of training and education on climate change within the social work curriculum. While social workers are trained to address a wide range of social issues, climate change is relatively new and emerging field of concern within the profession. There is a need for greater integration of climate change education into social work programs to equip social workers with the knowledge and tools needed to address the complex issue. Another challenge is the limited resources and funding available to support climate change related social work initiatives. Many social work agencies struggle to secure funding for climate focused programs, and social workers often lack the institutional support to engage in climate justice work. Additionally, the political and economic realities of climate change, such as resistance to policy changes, insufficient funding for climatic adaptation efforts, and competing priorities, can make it difficult for social workers to achieve the meaningful change. To overcome these challenges and strengthen the role of social workers in climate change action, several steps or measures can be taken. Education and training. Social work education programs should incorporate climate change into their curricula to better prepare future social workers for addressing the social impacts of climate change. This could include training on climate science, environmental justice, and the role of social work as disaster response and policy advocacy. Collaboration and partnerships. Social work should collaborate with environmental organizations, government agencies, and other stakeholders to develop and implement effective climate change strategies. Multi-sector partnerships can help leverage resources, share knowledge, and also create more holistic approaches to addressing climate change. Advocacy for policy change. Social workers should continue to advocate for policies that prioritize climate change and protect vulnerable populations. This includes pushing for stronger climate action policies at local, national, and global levels, and ensuring that climate change is recognized as a social justice issue. Strengthening community engagement. Social workers should focus on building community capacity for climate adaptation by engaging in participatory planning process and helping communities develop their own resilience strategies. This ensures that adaptation efforts are locally driven and culturally appropriate. As the impacts of climate change continue to unfold, social workers will be increasingly called upon to address the social dimensions of this global crisis. Through their advocacy, community engagement, and disaster response efforts, social workers have a crucial role in promoting climate justice and helping vulnerable populations navigate the challenges posed by the climate change. By expanding their role in climate action and advocating for systematic and social workers can help create more resilient, equitable communities in the face of an ever changing climate. Anyone who would like to share, feel free to come forward and share your opinions, thoughts on this day. Okay, then we'll move on to next challenges that social workers are facing. As you know, the profession of social work plays a pivotal role in promoting social justice, enhancing well-being, and empowering marginalized communities. Social workers, along with social work associations and councils, contribute significantly to the development of social work recognition education, training, employment, and entrepreneurship opportunities. So let's explore the interconnections between these entities and how they collectively should work towards improving the social work profession and providing opportunities for social workers to develop professionally, personally, securing meaningful education, training, employment, and explore entrepreneurial pathways. So there is a need for stronger recognition of the profession, greater access to education and training, and continuing education, and the creation of policies that foster employment and entrepreneurship opportunities for social workers. Social work is a dynamic profession that strives to promote social justice, enhance human well being, and empower individuals and communities. It is a diverse field encompassing various areas such as healthcare, mental health, child welfare, criminal justice, community development, and climate change, and so on. Despite the critical importance of social work, challenges persist in ensuring adequate recognition, training, and support for professionals in this field. These challenges include limited opportunities for advancement, under recognition of the profession, and the need for more robust framework for employment and entrepreneurship opportunities. Social work associations at regional level, at national level, at international level, and councils should play essential roles in addressing these challenges. They should serve as advocates for the profession, providing a platform for policy advocacy, professional development, and the creation of education standards. In addition, they should contribute to the recognition and regulation of social work practice, ensuring that social workers are adequately trained, recognized, and supported and certified throughout their careers. So let's look at how we can go about these issues and challenges. Social workers are dedicated to promoting social change and advancing for social justice, human rights, and equality. They serve as the frontline professionals in tackling issues such as poverty, discrimination, homelessness, and mental health. Through individual counseling, community organizing, policy advocacy, and direct service provisions, social workers make significant contributions to the well being of the individuals and communities. Social work practice is often centered around empowering marginalized communities, facilitating access to social services, and advocating for systemic changes to address inequalities. Given the broad and diverse roles that the social workers play, it is essential that their contributions are recognized and supported. Recognition of social work as a valuable profession is essential for ensuring that social workers receive the respect, training, and compensation they deserve. Social work associations are critical organizations that advocate for the professionalization of social work and ensure that social workers are recognized for their contributions to society. These associations function at various levels, including local, national, and international bodies, and serve multiple purposes like International Federation of Social Workers, which is supporting World Social Work Day, World Social Work Month, and World Social Work Week. So there are various ways we can serve and function at multiple purposes. Through advocacy and policy influence, social work associations should advocate for social policies that align with the values of social justice and equality. They should work with governments, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and other stakeholders to influence public policies that affect vulnerable population. In addition, associations should contribute to the development of social work standards and ethics, ensuring that social work practice is guided by sound principles. Through professional recognition, through conferences, through publications, seminars, symposiums, webinars, and public campaigns, social work associations should enhance the visibility of the profession. They should help raise public awareness of social workers' contributions and challenge stereotypes or misconceptions about the profession. Through networking and professional development, social work associations should offer opportunities for professional development, such as conferences, workshops, and webinars. These events provide social workers with access to current research, new practice tools, and the best practices in the field. In addition to these functions, associations often should advocate for legal and regulatory frameworks that protect the rights of social workers and provide guidelines for ethical and competent practice. For example, they may work to ensure that social workers are legally recognized as licensed professionals and that they are entitled to appropriate benefits, including job security and fair wages, insurance, etc. So, social work councils or boards are statutory or regulatory bodies that are responsible for overseeing the practice of social workers within a specific jurisdiction. So, establishment of social work councils or boards should be a priority, and their role should be primarily focused on ensuring that social workers meet established standards of practice, have received proper education and training, and adhere to the ethical guidelines. Social work councils should play a central role in professionalization of the field, and their key functions should include regulation and licensing. Social work councils set the criteria for the education, training, and qualifications required to practice as a social worker. These councils should establish licensing exams, enforce codes of conduct, and ensure that only qualified individuals can practice in the field. Licensing requirements vary across regions, but the overarching goal is to safeguard the public and ensure that social workers are competent and ethical in their practice. Through ensuring ethical standards, social work councils should be responsible for ensuring that social workers uphold high ethical standards in their work. They should investigate complaints of misconduct, provide disciplinary actions when necessary, and offer guidance on ethical dilemmas. They should play a crucial role in maintaining the integrity and trustworthiness of the profession. And through educational accreditation, social work councils should often work with academic institutions to ensure that social work education programs meet established standards of excellence. They should approve curricula, review the qualifications of faculty members, and ensure that students are prepared for professional practice. And more importantly, social work councils and social work boards and its members should act in such a way, in subjective manner, with high ethical and moral standards, and not taking stands or prejudices, and working towards accomplishment of the following objectives. By regulating the profession, social work councils should help maintain public trust in social workers, compensate and competence and ethical behavior, which in turn enhances the recognition and respect for the profession. When coming to education and training, which are essential components of the social work profession, social work councils and associations should ensure that social workers possess the knowledge, skills, and competencies needed to effectively address the complex challenges they encounter in their work. Social work education is typically provided at both undergraduate and graduate levels, and also at doctoral and postdoctoral research, with many regions requiring a master's degree for licensure. So here, social work associations should provide opportunities, should collaborate with various organizations. Unfortunately, we are not able to see to that extent that social work associations are able to collaborate at regional and national levels. Though internationally, IFSW has always been forward for taking initiatives, but at a local level, regional level, and national level, social work associations are not to that extent working in collaborating and coordinating with organizations which are working towards promoting social work and social welfare. So this should be minimized, and more collaborative work has to be taken because they themselves are not able to organize more events and programs. So they should at least collaborate with organizations, those who are working, so that they can leverage the benefits and the potential of the training programs, awareness programs, and also to enrich the learning experience and extend the benefits to the social workers. So the quality of social work education plays a crucial role in shaping the future of professionals. So social work education must be both comprehensive and dynamic to address the changing needs of the society, and should be regularly updated with the specializations and new papers and subjects courses to be added as part of social work education. Social work association and councils should collaborate with universities and educational institutions to design curricula that are aligned with professional standards and reflect current trends and practices in the field. Given the evolving nature of social issues and policies, social workers must engage in continuous professional development throughout their careers. So, training programs, workshops, and online courses should be provided by social work associations and councils at an affordable price, or, if possible, freely, with certification, supporting lifelong learning and skill development. This ongoing education helps social workers stay informed about new research, practices, and legal developments in this field. Coming to employment opportunities, there are various challenges faced by the social workers. Social work offers a wide range of employment opportunities across various sectors, including healthcare, child welfare, mental health, education, community development, environment, and so on. However, challenges persist in creating equitable and sustainable employment opportunities for social workers. These challenges are numerous, including the underemployment and job insecurity. In some regions, social workers face insecurity or underemployment due to limited funding for social services and lack of recognition to the profession's value. Social work associations and councils should advocate for the creation of policies that promote stable employment opportunities and fair compensation for social workers. Coming to the workplace support and resources, social workers often work in high stress environments, dealing with emotionally taxing situations. Providing adequate support, supervision, and resources for social workers is crucial for their well being and effectiveness in practice. And coming to entrepreneurship opportunities in social work for social workers, while the traditional path for social workers involve working with agencies, social work professionals can also explore entrepreneurial opportunities. These opportunities include starting private practices, creating social enterprises, or consulting with organizations to improve their social impact. Social work associations and councils should play a significant role in supporting social workers interested in entrepreneurship by offering resources, mentorship, and guidance. Ensuring social work entrepreneurship can lead to innovative solutions to social issues and expand the impact of social workers in communities. So, social workers, social work associations, social work councils, social work boards must play vital roles in enhancing the recognition, education, training, and employment opportunities available to professionals in the field through advocacy, regulation, and educational support, collaboration and coordination and cooperation. These entities must work collectively to advance the profession and ensure that social workers are adequately prepared to address the complex social challenges they encounter. By strengthening the infrastructure surrounding social work, including creating opportunities for employment, entrepreneurship, this profession can continue to grow and evolve to meet the needs of the society. Ultimately, enhancing the recognition and support of social workers will lead to more effective, innovative, and impactful interventions for vulnerable populations worldwide. And more importantly, social workers should not be dependable always. So, social workers need to create more opportunities by themselves, create platforms like this where we can promote social work education, social work training, work awareness programs, not only related to social work, but also in general across the disciplines. This will provide a number of opportunities and especially platforms which are easily accessible, affordable, which will help the social workers to gain more opportunities for learning and continuing education. So anyone who would like to share their views, opinions are welcome to share your details in chat box. Okay, then let's take up another topic, which is also more relevant as social work is also traditionally seen as a profession focused on human well being and social justice. However, interdependence between human societies and the environment calls for an expanded role of social workers in environmental issues. So, the role of social workers in conservation, protection, and preservation of nature, environment, ecosystems, biodiversity, flora, fauna, and wildlife is crucial. The environmental impacts on communities, individuals, and how the social workers can contribute to environmental sustainability, advocate for the vulnerable populations affected by environmental degradation, and various support initiatives to preserve biodiversity, and importance of integrating environmental concerns into social work practice and education, as well as the potential for cross-sector collaborations between social workers and environmental organizations shall be explored. In this, we will see about these topics. So, the relationship between humans and the environment is increasingly recognized as a central concern in the modern world. As a human activity accelerates climate change, deforestation, biodiversity loss, and ecosystem degradation, it becomes clear that environmental sustainability is not only an ecological issue, but also a social one. Vulnerable populations, including low income countries, indigenous groups, and marginalized communities, are disproportionately affected by the environmental degradation, making the protection and preservation of the environment a matter of social justice. Social workers who are trained to address social inequalities have a critical role to play in conservation and protection of the environment. As advocates for vulnerable population and experts in community empowerment, social workers are well positioned to integrate environmental concerns into their practice. By focusing on environmental justice, community engagement, and policy advocacy, social workers can play a transformative role in creating sustainable and just environmental practices. Environmental justice is a framework that recognizes the disproportionate impacts of environmental degradation on marginalized communities. It highlights how economic, social, and political factors contribute to the unequal access to healthy environments. Social workers have long advocated for the rights of marginalized populations, making them natural allies in the fight for environmental justice. Their unique skills in community organizing, advocacy, and case management allows them to address for intersection of environmental issues with social, economic, and health disparities. Social workers are in a unique position to advocate for vulnerable populations who are disproportionately affected by environmental issues such as pollution, deforestation, and climate change. Communities located near hazardous waste sites, industrial plants, or areas affected by climate change are often undeserved in terms of resources and access to justice. Social workers should help amplify the voices of these communities, ensuring that their concerns are heard by policymakers, environmental agencies, and other stakeholders. By providing a platform for affected populations, social workers can advocate for laws and policies that protect both human and environmental health. Social workers can also help communities build resilience in the face of environmental threats. This can include providing education on environmental risk, promoting disaster preparedness, and facilitating access to resources, empowering communities to take action on environmental issues, allows them to protect their local ecosystems and adapt to climate related changes. Social workers can help communities organize around issues such as water rights, land preservation, and sustainable agricultural practices. Ecosystems and biodiversity are essential for maintaining the planet's life support systems. The loss of biodiversity due to habitat destruction, pollution, and climate change poses significant risks not only to wildlife but also to human populations who rely on healthy ecosystems for food, clean water, and livelihoods. Social workers can contribute to biodiversity conservation in several ways by community based conservation, which is an approach that involves local communities in the stewardship of their natural resources. Social workers are often involved in community development and can facilitate collaboration between local populations, conservationists, and government agencies to protect ecosystems. Social workers can help communities create protected areas, develop sustainable land use practices, and implement wildlife conservation programs. By integrating local knowledge and priorities into conservation efforts, social workers ensure that all these initiatives are critically appropriate, sustainable, and beneficial for all stakeholders. Social workers play a crucial role in raising awareness about the importance of biodiversity and ecosystem protection. They can organize educational campaigns that teach communities about the value of local wildlife, forests, wetlands, and other crucial habitats. By increasing public awareness of the links between environmental degradation and social issues, social workers can inspire individuals and communities to take action to protect their natural surroundings. Additionally, social workers can help facilitate access to education on environmental sustainability practices, including waste reduction, energy conservation, and sustainable agriculture. The social work profession can also contribute to global efforts to mitigate climate change and adapt to its impact. Social workers can advocate for the inclusion of climate change considerations in policy decisions that affect vulnerable communities. They can also assist communities in planning for climate change related events such as floods, droughts, and extreme weather. By promoting climate resilient development practices, advocating for environmental justice, social workers can help ensure that both human and environment systems are protected in the face of changing climate conditions. The protection and preservation of flora, plants, and fauna animals are central to the conservation of biodiversity. Many social work practices focus on human well being, but the health of ecosystems is directly linked to the health and livelihoods of people. Social workers can engage in various activities to protect flora and fauna, particularly in the areas where human activities threaten the natural environment. For this, collaboration with environmental organizations, government bodies, and other stakeholders to advocate for the protection of endangered species and critical habitats, social workers should play active role. By participating in campaigns and lobbying efforts, social workers can help ensure that flora and fauna receive the legal protections they need to thrive. Additionally, social workers can engage in wildlife rehabilitation, promoting programs that protect and restore endangered species and ecosystems. Social workers are well versed in resource management and can apply this knowledge to environmental conservation. They can facilitate the development of sustainable resource management programs that balance human needs with ecological preservation. Social workers can work with communities to develop sustainable agriculture practices that protect local wildlife habitats, promote organic farming, and reduce reliance on harmful pesticides. By incorporating sustainability principles into the practice, social workers can help prevent the overexploitation of flora and fauna. In many cultures, the relationship between humans and nature is framed by principles of respect, stewardship, and interconnectedness. Social workers can advocate for ethical approaches to environmental management that recognize the intrinsic value of flora and fauna by promoting environmental ethics that emphasize the rights of non human entities and the interconnectedness of all life forms. Social workers can contribute to the creation of more sustainable and equitable human nature relationships. To ensure that social workers are equipped to address environmental issues, it is essential to integrate environmental concerns into social work education and practice. This involves incorporating environmental sustainability, environmental justice into curricula, providing training on impacts of climate change, and encouraging social workers to develop competencies in environmental advocacy. Social work education should include a strong emphasis on environmental issues, including climate change, biodiversity conservation, and sustainable resource management. By providing future social workers with the tools and knowledge to understand the relationship between special, social, and environmental systems, educators can help ensure that social workers are prepared to tackle pressing environmental challenges. Additionally, integrating environmental justice into the curriculum will enable the social workers to advocate for marginalized communities affected by environmental degradation. For social workers already in practice, continuing education opportunities focused on environmental sustainability and advocacy should be made available. Social work associations and councils can provide workshops, conferences, webinars, and online resources to help social workers stay updated on environmental issues and best practices in conservation and sustainability. So, social workers have a crucial role to play in conservation, protection, and preservation of nature, ecosystems, biodiversity, and the wildlife and the flora and fauna that sustain life on planet. Through their advocacy for environmental justice, community empowerment, and policy influence, social workers can help ensure that vulnerable populations are disproportionately affected by environmental degradation. By integrating environmental concerns into social work education, practice, and advocacy, social workers can contribute to a more sustainable, equitable, and just world for all living beings. If any of the participants are willing to share their feedback, opinions, you are welcome. We are exploring the most significant and pressing challenges. You can also share your opinions. Okay, then we'll move on to final talk for the day. So, as we are also creating awareness on sustainable development goals, let's see how or what kind of role social workers can play in achieving the sustainable development goals. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, represent a global blueprint for peace and prosperity and environmental sustainability. These 17 goals, adopted by all UN member states in 2015, aim to address global challenges such as poverty, inequality, environmental degradation, and injustice by 2030. Social workers, with their commitment to social justice, human rights, and community empowerment, are central to achieving these goals. So let's explore the role of social workers in contributing to the SDGs with a focus on how their skills, values, and practices align with the objectives of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We'll also see how the ways in which social workers can involve in policy advocacy, community development, and direct service delivery that support the Sustainable Development Goals. In September 2015, the United Nations adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which includes the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. These goals provide a shared framework for addressing critical issues such as poverty, inequality, health, education, gender equality, clean water, and climate action. The SDGs are a universal call for action to promote a more sustainable, equitable, and peaceful world. Social workers have been advocates for social justice, human rights, and community empowerment. Their core values align with the principles of the SDGs, making them key contributors to the achievement of these global objectives. Whether it is advocating for policy changes, addressing systemic inequalities, or working with individuals and communities on the ground, social workers play a crucial role in creating a better future for all. Let's look at each goal, sustainable development goal, and how social workers can play an active role and contribute to various SDGs. So, SDG 1, no poverty. SDG 1 seeks to eradicate poverty in all its forms everywhere by 2030. Poverty is a multi-faced issue encompassing not only a lack of financial resources, but also inadequate access to education, healthcare, and social services. Social workers are on the front lines of poverty elevation, providing support to individuals and communities in need. Social workers engage with low income communities, providing direct services such as financial assistance, housing support, and access to healthcare services, and so on. Through case management, social workers empower individuals to navigate complex systems and secure the resources necessary for their well being. This support is crucial in addressing the root causes of poverty, such as unemployment, discrimination, and lack of access to education. In addition to direct service delivery, social workers play an important role in advocating for policies that reduce poverty and inequality. They work with policymakers to develop social safety nets, affordable housing initiatives, and employment programs. By advocating for systemic changes that address the structural causes of poverty, social workers contribute to the broader objective of SDG 1. SDG 3 aims to ensure healthy lives and promote well being, that is, good health and well being, for for all, at all ages. Social workers contribute to this goal in various settings, including healthcare, mental health services, and community development. Mental health is a crucial, critical component of overall well being, yet, it is often overlooked in traditional healthcare systems. Social workers are essential in providing mental health services, offering therapy, counseling, and support groups to individuals experiencing mental health challenges. They help reduce stigma, increase access to mental health services, and advocate for the integration of mental health into general healthcare systems. Social workers also promote community health by engaging in preventive care initiatives. They work in schools, community centers, and health care organizations to educate individuals on health issues, prevention strategies, and the healthy living and lifestyles. By providing education and support, social workers empower individuals and communities to take control of their health and well being. SDG 4 Quality Education. SDG 4 seeks to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Education is a powerful tool for breaking the cycle of poverty and improving individual and community outcomes. Social workers support educational goals by addressing barriers to education and advocating for equity in educational opportunities. Social workers are often involved in advocating for children and families facing challenges that hinder access to education, such as poverty, disability, or discrimination. They work with schools to ensure that students from marginalized groups receive the support they need, including individualized educational plans, school based mental health services, and after school programs. Social workers also play a significant role in supporting at risk youth. They provide counseling and mentorship to young people in school settings, helping them to overcome academic, social, or behavioral challenges. By supporting youth in their educational journeys, social workers help them stay engaged with school, complete their education, and ultimately contribute to SDG 4 goal. SDG 5 Gender Equality. SDG 5 calls for achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. Social workers are at the forefront for advocating for gender equality, challenging gender based violence, and supporting the rights of women and girls. One of the most significant roles social workers play in achieving SDG 5 is addressing gender based violence. Social workers provide crisis intervention, support survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking, and work to prevent further violence through education and advocacy. They also work to raise awareness of gender inequality and advocate for stronger laws and policies that protect women and girls. Social workers empower women and girls by providing resources and opportunities for personal development. This includes facilitating access to education, employment, and leadership opportunities. Social workers also promote women's rights in communities, offering initiatives that provide economic independence and social inclusion for women. SDG 10, reduce inequality. SDG 10 focuses on reducing inequality within and among countries. Inequality is often the root cause of social issues such as poverty, discrimination, and lack of access to basic services. Social workers are key agents in addressing social inequalities, working to reduce disparities in wealth, opportunity, and access to resources. Social workers are strong advocates for social justice, fighting against discrimination, and working to eliminate inequality in all its forms. Social workers on behalf of marginalized populations, including ethnic minorities, refugees, LGBTQIs, plus individuals, and those with disabilities, advocating for equal rights and opportunities. Social workers help individuals navigate legal systems, access healthcare, and secure housing and employment. Social workers are also involved in community mobilization, helping communities organize and advocate for policy changes and promote equality, whether through grassroots efforts, lobbying, or coalition building. Social workers are active participants in movements for social change. SDG 13 Climate Action. SDG 13 calls for urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. While climate change is often framed as an environmental issue, its social dimensions are equally significant. Social workers are essential in addressing the social impacts of climate change, particularly for vulnerable populations who bear the brunt of environmental destruction. Social workers play a crucial role in assisting individuals displaced by climate related events such as floods, hurricanes, and droughts. They provide case management, emotional support, and access to services for displacement individuals and families, helping them navigate relocation, resettlement, and recovery process. Social workers also engage in community based climate adaptation projects, helping communities prepare for and respond to environmental disasters by educating communities on climate resilience strategies and supporting local initiatives that reduce environmental vulnerability. And social workers contribute to mitigating the impacts of climate change. So, social workers have a vital role to play in achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals through direct practice, policy advocacy, and community mobilization. Social workers are working to create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world. Their commitment to human rights, social justice, and community empowerment aligns closely with the objectives of SDGs, making them indispensable allies in the global effort to address the world's most pressing challenges. By continuing to integration of social work principles into the achievement of the SDGs, social workers will help ensure that the benefits of sustainable development are felt by all, particularly those who have been historically marginalized. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations and celebrations. We thank everyone for joining us on this wonderful day. So if there are no opinions to be shared, we shall conclude it here on this day. If anyone would like to make presentations, feel free to share in chat box so that we can invite you. So we have Mr. Pradeep. Yeah, Pradeep, you can go ahead. And Pradeep is an animal activist and advocate working for animal welfare. He has been working since a decade on animal welfare issues. Yeah, Pradeep, you can unmute yourself, start your video and presentation.
Thank you, Ravindra sir, for the wonderful opportunity. So a very good evening, one and all. Thanks a lot for joining this uh, wonderful initiative taken by Dr. Ravindra sir, and bringing uh, a significant day for social workers, and that is International Social Work Day. So my name is Pradeep, and I work as an animal welfare advocate. I've been closely around more than 80 years in working in it and working with the diversified teams that is in that's animal rescues and awareness and advocacy. So I was also a certified global rabies educator and a community coordinator on the Global Alliance for Rabies Control, which is closely working with the WHO in the elimination of the rabies. So that was my introduction, and let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everybody. I hope my screen is visible to everyone.
It's still
Just
loading. Now it's visible.
thanks a lot, sir. There is a network issue, so sorry for the inconvenience.
It's okay.
Thanks a lot, sir. Just a moment. Just so today I'm going to talk about the till the 10 days of the social work conference. We have discussed various aspects of related to animal welfare. So this is a 10-day, so it's a end of the conference, animal welfare workshop. So we'll be talking about the how to how to set up an animal welfare organization and also the volunteer opportunities. And the second part of it, we will see about how being a social worker, how can you contribute for the improving the welfare of the animals and also the people who are working in the uh, animal welfare. So let's get started. So in the first part of the introduction, we'll be going to talk about how you can volunteer with an animal welfare organization. And the second part is like how can you set up an animal welfare organization and what are the guiding when you have an organization, you need to have a mission and vision statement also. So how can you have a good mission and vision for the organization and how many members are required for the setting up of an animal welfare organization and the bylaws document and staff and budgeting. So various constraints are what are required for the setting up an organization. We'll be discussing, and also along with that, we'll be discussing about the different roles a social worker can play uh, in animal welfare, in improving the lives of animals and also the people who are working with animals. So initially, whoever want to work in the animal welfare or who want to start up their career or start up an organization. So it will be ideal that you work with, you volunteer for some time with an organization so that you can get to know about what are the aspects, what are the different aspects involved in an organization. Because once you volunteer, you get to know about the organization working and also in which part of the with which part you can contribute and also you can also go for rescues or you can work there as an uh, caretaker for animals and shelter animals where you can take care of the shelter animals and you can also answer the animal rescue calls who also acts as a first responder for animals and you can also be a cruelty response volunteer So where you will be act as a first response volunteer, cruelty response volunteer in identifying the cruelty cases, assisting the cruelty inspector, the animal welfare organization, and also you can also be an education and awareness volunteer where you can spread awareness about the animal welfare, during the talks or also, and you can organize some poster or painting competition for children, and you can develop empathy and compassion in children. So these are the possible aspects. You can be a volunteer for an organization, and you can also do fundraising activity. Also you can be a fundraiser, you can be a community animal caretaker. So there are a lot of responsibilities depending upon the, I mean, lot of volunteer opportunities where an organization can offer you. So in which area you can, we are uh, in which area you want to be, that it can be only known by volunteering with that particular aspect. Like once you came to volunteer, so you came to know the different aspects of organization. So initially you can volunteer as an like feeding animals. You can after that slowly you can learn how to handle animals. You can also be a animal rescue volunteer. So after that you can slowly and steadily that you can also get to know about the various animal welfare laws. Where they conduct a lot of workshops and a lot of animal sensitization. They get to train you under various laws, so you can also get to know about various laws, and also what are the procedures to like the for I mean whenever cruelty has happened. So you will be working on the field with the cruelty response officers. So our cruelty response inspectors. So I mean you can also get to meet with various diversified advocates. So in you will be working in a whole a lot of sphere. So will definitely you get to know about, and you can gain a lot of experience and exposure through volunteering. And one sense it will gives you an exposure and experience, and it also gives you personal sense of satisfaction since you are helping animals. So once you got enough experience, once you have worked with an organization, so after considering a lot of your experience, and then you think of setting up an organization. So with your knowledge, experience, and skills, then you can set up an organization, because the setting up an organization is easy, but managing an organization, providing the best service, which is a uh, which is again you need to have experience, knowledge, and expertise. So that's the reason I have mentioned initial days you volunteer, you get trained yourself and acquire knowledge, and then after that, after considerable years of if you know about the process, procedure, and if you are confident enough, then you can start the organization. So setting up an animal welfare organization involves many things. The first and foremost thing is identify, because when you are setting up an organization, you also need to know which type of services you need to provide. uh, so you need to have little bit clarity about which area of expertise you want to be. So there are many services, like in one of the times services would be animal shelter. So you can start up with small place where you're taking up the animal rescues, and like you can training volunteers. In that way, you can build a small organization. And okay, if you don't have a manpower, if you don't have, but you are good at advocacy, like you are good at providing a legal help, and also addressing animal cruelty cases. So in that case, you can start an advocacy, legal support. You can provide the services to the people who are having were reporting about cruelty about animals. So you can train them. You can provide advocacy services for them. And the third part is awareness. So awareness also you can where you can provide awareness for the school children, community-based awareness, sensitization, because sensitization is very much important so that public can also get to know. You can develop IEC materials where you can distribute, where you can, you can approach to the schools and colleges. Many of the colleges you can go and start the small talks, awareness talks about animal welfare, responsible and animal welfare, and also like rabies awareness, vaccination, the importance of vaccination. So these are a couple of topics where you can initially start about it. For school children, you can talk about compassion, like you can tell the stories to the like children, because children like more a lot of stories. They learn a lot of things from the stories. So they like most of the time in our childhood also we learn a lot of stories, Panchatantra, a lot of creative stories are there. So you where many of the animal characters are there, So initially with uh, the morals of the story, they can learn to be compassionate towards animals. And similarly, you can organize the painting competitions, slogan writing, essay writing competition. In that way, you are promoting a compassion in children, one side, and other side, you are actually uh, bringing up the skills in children. So apart from the academic, they also know about, they are presenting their creative skills through an art. So you can present a beautiful art where creative art can be drawn from piece of paper that from a child. So that can be possible through awareness. So once you know about what type of organization, what type of service, what type of once you have a clarity about it, then to write a mission and vision statement. Like what do you want to develop, what do you want to provide a service for the common public and for the animals. So now we can go to the members of the organization. Ideally, once an organization name, services, our mission and vision statements are done, you need to identify the members of the organization. So normally, if you, I would say, you pick up from a diversified uh, people from the different backgrounds, because they will have their talents and attributes where they can be utilized in the organization role settings. So then you can form a board. A board is a board where it initially consists of 7 to 8 members. So there will be different roles involved. There will be a president, there will be a vice president, there will be a secretary, there will be an executive members. So these are all the roles will be having in the animal welfare organization based on their skill set, based on their talents, based on their attributes. So you can form a small board initially, 7 to 8 members who are like-minded, who are empathetic and compassionate. You know better about it. So you can pick the people accordingly, and you can also form a members of the organization. Once you form all this, like once you got the organization name, once you know about what are the services you need to provide, and after that, once you know about the mission and vision statement, and once you identify the members of the organization, and once you form a board, and then once you got the members, then we are going for the staff. So apart from the board, we need to have a dedicated and compassionate people who can meet the organization goal. I mean, since the animal welfare organization is a service motto, so the people who you want to hire are mostly they should be having a dedication and a mission to help the animals in need. So you select the people around. Maybe you can also see a couple of volunteers also. You can hire them also based on their like how they are working and how their willingness and all. Lot of the many of the people who initially worked as a volunteer, they worked as a staff in the particular organization. So maybe you can pick up and a lot of their social work, like many people will be voluntarily helping out. You can provide them a job opportunity to them. So by offering this job to them, you are providing an livelihood, and at the same time, you are also providing the best service, because these people will be go uh, beyond and help the animals. So once you know that, they will be stand as a frontliner for your organization. So your staff will always need to have this quality. Check that they have a compassionate. You can. It's okay if they don't. You are not as aware of animals or not. But they once they are compassionate, you can get to train them, because behavior and traits are very important for this profession, because a lot of patience and and patience need to be there, because we are dealing with animals. We are not dealing with human beings. So they cannot talk. Sometimes we'll have the people from the public also will have a lot of repercussions will happen. Some people will start to give a lot of even they'll create unnecessary drama. So the staff need to be little bit kind, compassionate, and you need to be little bit patience in dealing with all these things. So we have this once they have these traits and all, it is easy to train them for rest of the things. So once you know about the staff and all, the other thing is a bylaws document. So a bylaws documents which defines about your organization, your executive members, and functioning of the organization. So initially you can get this bylaws document done by if you can approach to any of the lawyer, he or she can help you with framing a bylaws document. So it is very important. You will get to know about how the functioning of the organization will be, and also the executive members, and what are your mission goals and vision statement. Everything will be there, because the lawyer will help you with that. And once you have all this, now you have set up, you know about the organization name, you have started with the service you have picked up, and you also once the service has been picked up, you have also selected about the mission and vision statement. Once you got the mission and vision statement, you have also picked up the now like the board members, the committee members. We have formed the board, and we have also got the staff. So, and once you have we have everything in hand. The most thing important for running in an organization is the budgeting. How much amount you require to run an organization? Because you need to pay the staff salaries also. You need to have a medic if you are having a shelter. So in ultimately you need to have care about the animals, so about the food supplies and the veterinary medicine. So these are all constraints will be there. So ideally you need to have 3 to 4 years corpus fund to meet the expenditure of the salaries and functioning of the organization. And other thing is, every 1 year we need to have an auditing of the every year, the performance. Like once 1 year is completed, we need to have an annual report. The annual report is a report which represents about the your 1 year, tenure. What are the different activities you have been performed at the organization level? Uh, whatever services you have been provided. So this report is a comprehensive report which will help you anyone to understand while you are approaching any authorities. So so if you give an annual report, it will showcase them easily, so they can understand about your work. So there is a document. So and it is also very important for you to in future proceeding years. So if you go apply for the ATC, ADZ, a 12-year certificate, it is a mandatory document. Another aspect is auditing. For every 1 year, if you have completed the organization, you need to everything auditing needs to be done. The receipts, books, voucher. So these are all very important. So these are have to be kept in place. So in that way, you will have a smooth and transition, smooth functioning of an organization. So now coming to the second part of it. So what are the various aspects of a social worker in for the field of animal welfare? So as Ravinder sir has mentioned about very nicely presented about sustainable development goals and the role of a social worker. So here in the similar wise, there are many opportunities as a social worker. You can help animals in the field of animal welfare. So a social worker plays a significant role in animal welfare. So the various roles includes veterinary social worker. So the veterinary social worker is someone who works in a clinical settings. They can also work in a shelter also, animal shelter also. So where he will be doing the client support. Suppose someone has visited a clinic, so scheduling the appointments, and also once a veterinary doctor has prescribed some medicines, like making the uh, patient, the pet owners to aware about the what actually the animal is diagnosed, and what are these medication has it suggested by the vet. So these and the continuous follow up, like the communication, how we can make it. So client support communication, you can work as a client support in the clinical settings, and at the same time communication and facilitation. So a lot of the times when we see about the clinics or animal shelters, a lot of the public will be coming. So see, ultimately we are working with animals, we are dealing a lot of stress also. So what happens is you need to communicate with animal owners. So sometimes the pet owners, there will be a loss of their pet. So the grievings at the time, it is very difficult for a owner to dice their loss of the pet. So in that time, as a social worker, you can facilitate them, and also you can be acts as a crisis interventioner. So you can specify the owners, and also make them, how the psychologist, as a psychologist, how you help people. Similar way, you can console pet owners and give some counseling and grief management scenarios. You can do it. And we have the crisis interventions. In the crisis intervention, I have explained about the pet owners, like how they, like loss of their pet, how they will be, and they will be lot of trauma they will be associated. So similarly, here in the uh, here in the animal shelters or hospital staff. So even veterinarians also experience a lot of stress. So even they experience a lot of trauma. So uh, you can act as the crisis intervention, like by they like providing a lot of like various techniques to reduce their stress. So a lot of, I'm not from a psychology background, but many of the techniques where you will be having in your academic perspective, like what are the different aspects, how you deal with humans, like a lot of coping mechanisms. So such techniques can be also, you can also use in the animal welfare. And the other aspect is education. Education and awareness is very important in whatever field, whatever profession you have been choosing. So, training veterinary professionals, it may be veterinarians or animal shelter workers, various coping strategies and client communication skills. This role, you social workers can make a significant difference. And another thing is animal assistant interventions. Like a lot of the times when we see about any cancer patients or anyone, so cancer is a disease, like how it will mentally and physically it will drains a human being. So at that time, uh, where you can be like an animal assistant, like where we train couple of animals like such as dogs, where you can so they actually reduce the stress. So you can also be an animal assistant therapist, where you can train yourself under a lot of canine behaviorists, or a lot of trainers will be there, certified trainers will be there. So where you undergo animal assistant intervention techniques, where you train an animal, and in that way you are promoting a human and animal bond. At the same time, reducing the stress of if you talk about a cancer, is it's a disease. So most of the time it actually uh, it will actually affect mentally and physically also. So you can bring back their habit. Maybe you cannot. There are certain techniques to cure the disease, but making them mentally uh, and mentally strong, which is very important. So in that case, animal assistant therapy works wonders. And there also a lot of the times there are the various developmental disorders in children's. So I have seen many of the cases like children who interacted well with pets, they perform well. So especially when the children with a lot of developmental disorders, autism and all. So in these animal assistant uh, pets, what will happen is that they will develop the concentration levels of a child, and also at the same time they will improve the overall communication. So there is a lot of significant transition of this is also there. So when it comes to the animal assistant interventions, another thing is the policy making. So you can also be in advocacy. You can be a part of a animal advocacy, a part where you can part as a you can act as a lobbying, or you can write policy documents. So where you can help the promote and better animal welfare practices, and acting as a facilitator between the animal shelters and human service agencies. So these are the couple of areas where, as a social worker, you can play a part in the field of animal welfare. There are a lot of, and even as sustainable development goals also, as Ravindra sir has said, you can also be like a food policy. We all got sustainable food, so we can be a part of food policy document. And also nowadays a lot of we are hearing the birth sound of alternative food systems. You can write a research documents, you can publish a documents, and alternative proteins, smart protein. So even though there is a lot of scope here in the field of in the animal welfare for a social worker. So how you are changing the life of a human being, and how you are helping them, being in crisis intervention, or being in a communication facilitation, or client support, or even how we are offering the services, that's illegal, or we've been a part of advocacy. So similar way in the animal welfare also, you can promote the same services, and it gives you a lot of satisfaction. Trust me. And here are the few successful veterinary social workers. So she is a Janine from her qualification is MA, MSW, and LCW. So she works at Banfield Pet Hospital. So it's not in here, it's in abroad. So as a social worker, she says that as a social worker and a lifelong animal person, there is no greater privilege than taking care of the people who take care of the pets that enrich our lives. So, and here is the other social worker. Her name is Robin, the veterinary social worker. So, social worker is changing the future field by supporting pet owners and the team owners for their pets. This creates a ripple effect, benefits for everyone, making a better world for pets and the pet owners. So all and all, I want to share is, as a social worker, you are creating a sustainable world for everyone. It is environment, animals, and for humans too. So it is a holistic practice, and also it is also very good profession when you come consider for when in the field of animal welfare. So all that is open and come with an open with a go. Sorry. So what I mean to say is, come up with an open heart. Animals will never let you down. They give you bundles of love and compassion. So that's all I want to share. So thanks a lot, everyone, for listening to me so patiently. And thanks a lot, Ravindra sir, for giving the wonderful opportunity. Ending my screen. Just, yeah. So,
Congratulations, Pradeep.
thanks a lot, sir. So, there was a sorry, there is a power cut over here. So somewhat,
It
yeah.
was good in spite of challenges. That is what social worker is prepared for the
Yes, sir.
challenges. In spite of challenges, we should be able to
Yes, sir.
perform our duties and responsibilities. That is what we are celebrating this social work month, and today
Yes,
is the last day. And today, in spite of being festival, also we are celebrating and commemorating. So challenges will be there everywhere.
yes, sir.
So we need to face the challenges and we need
Yes,
to
sir.
perform our duties. Very well said. Even in animal welfare, today
Yes,
I was talking about environment, climate
yes,
change, sustainable development goals, how social work, how social worker and social work councils, social work boards can play an effective role in each and every discipline. You name a discipline, social worker has a role to play. But unfortunately, the kind of direction or the perspective is not well established. And there is no academic discipline subject. Like we don't have animal welfare paper or a subject or a course in social work. Similarly, we need to introduce more disciplines, more specializations into social work so that more and more avenues can be opened up and more opportunities can be created for social workers. So this is a very good opportunity for everyone. And today we are concluding this World Social Work Month celebrations. So hope all the sessions, I think Pradeep, 10 sessions have been completed.
yes,
Anything is
sir.
left?
Wildlife we have not yet done, sir.
So if you can complete that also today, is it
Yes,
possible?
sir. Yes, sir. No problem, sir. If,
So
I,
because we'll close and we will
yes, sir.
we will also send the feedback form today. So
Yes,
to
sir.
complete that session also,
Yes,
and
sir.
we'll conclude it the 10 days workshop also today.
Sure, sir. Definitely, sir.
So you can
Uh,
continue with that session.
yes, sir. Sure, sir. So, uh, so everyone, so I will be talking about combating wildlife crimes. A lot of the times when we talk in lot of televisions and news channels, seen a lot of animals being used, wild animals being used in they have been used as illegally smuggled, and also they had the skin has been used as an ornaments and all, and most of the times in airports a lot of live animals has been caught. So mostly this happens because of the one thing is uh, lot of people, especially people who are vulnerable sections of the society, what they happen is because of the easy money. So they think that okay, animals have been they're, they're not aware about the local laws, governing laws and sessions. What are the applicability of laws and transportation of animals and Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Some are completely not aware of it, acts and sections. So because of the poverty condition, because of their survival. So what they happens is they will go to the forest and they will illegally capture animals. So mostly if you see about rose-ringed parakeets, they have been usually trafficked. And we have the pangolins. They have been illegally trafficked and they suffer a lot. And some actually consume the wild animals. It's a prohibited one. Now, since their enforcement is there by the forest department and also uh, even customs department at a lot of airports, we have the strict checks while on but still often there are a lot of crimes which is happening. So one major issue which is because of the lack of employment opportunities. For example, youth. So they were often been engaged into the. I mean, they're because of this easy money trap. They are getting into this wildlife crimes. So most of them they are not aware of it. Some are losing their precious life. So how you, as a social worker, how you can change the scenario is like through awareness and education. Since you are dealing with a lot of community, a lot of marginalized community, especially when you talk about Adivasis and also a lot of vulnerable sections of the society and a lot of tribals. Most of them they are not nowadays they are little bit getting it coming out of their forest. They want to go for a better opportunity so, but still there are some people who would do this. So maybe you can go to the such places and make them to understand the importance of education and how it can change them their lives, and at the same time, how the illegal hunting of animals can uh, illegal hunting of animals can land them in the jail. It's enough. You make them to understand like it's an offense so that they can come out of this wildlife trafficking, and in that way you can save a lot of animals. If you know, a lot of the traffic is an organization, international organization, which works for the wildlife enforcement, and also every year it publishes a document. So in the document we see that lot many of the times pangolins and other wildlife species they have been trafficked, and exotic species of animals. So in India, uh, there is certain loophole in the law, especially for the exotic species. They don't have an for the wildlife, wild animals, we have the certain species, protected species. There is an enforcement is there, but since there is exotic animals, in the name, what actually is happening is a lot of airports. Although there is strict enforcement is there, customs are always checking it. Still, the because of the many of the people they put animals in the suitcase and monkeys and also primates. So a lot of the times, so many of them they were caught red-handedly, and these animals they have been sent to the wildlife rehabilitation center, or even many of the forest department or wildlife crime control bureau, which is a statutory body where it actually take care of enforcing the wildlife crimes and all. So they will foresee it, and and they will send the animals to the veterinary. Either they can send it to zoo so that the animal can get a better health. And once they are okay, since they are exotic and all, so they will keep on the uh, a zoo or a place or where a wildlife rehabilitation center is there, so they keep their animals over there. And apart from that, a lot of the times we see that elephants and all animals, they have been used as it's for many of the times we want to earlier days we don't have much transportation, so we use animals as a transportation. And we elephant rides we see a lot of the times in especially in lot of the historical places, temples, and a lot of the people they want to uh, ride an elephant. So what happens is during the procession times, a lot of the times they have been chained from the very young age. What they will do is they'll tie a small rope to the when he was a baby elephant. So they will tie a small rope. So the elephant will think like gradually when it grows up, he will think that okay, I can't go, and he will become like that. So they will psychologically it affects the mindset of an elephant. So they actually tied it with a sort of iron chains. So they get a lot of wounds, and it's a very unpleasant for them, and also it is a horrible situation when you see the condition of the animals. So the elephants are also protected. So whenever you go to the Ajmer Fort or any other places or tourist spots, try not to engage in the animal rides or joy rides, because for our pleasure, for uh, for our enjoyment, we should not suffer animals, because they actually deserve right to live. And even in our constitution, which also says Article 51 AG, shall be the fundamental duty of every citizen of India to have a compassion towards all living creatures. So especially when you talk about even peacock and the tiger. So these are all our national heritage. We need to protect them. So as a social worker, try to sensitize the community, marginalized societies. So because you will be interacting more, so make them aware. You can conduct workshops. So make them aware. This is not a good way of living a life. You can get educated. So you have a role to play. So in that way, you can help to reduce the wildlife crimes, and especially the youth. You can uh, stop them going in the wrong way, and help them to move towards a more constructive manner, and you can make them more, and either you can train them through certain skills, various employable skills. Many of the government are introducing skills, especially forest department. They use a lot of you know uh, for the tribals and all. They conduct a lot of workshops, or any you can make handcrafts, or even tourism also. So such sort of thing, because they are not aware, they don't know about it. They are now there is a little bit of change. They are living in a different part of the society, so but they don't have a technology and all. So just making them aware about the it, that is only possible through education. Once they know the value of education, the crimes, the wildlife crimes will automatically uh, come to the. I mean, I'm not saying it will automatically happen in one day, but will gradually. There is a, as per the as awareness, more awareness and workshops are being organized, and more community participation is there. Slowly and steadily, the crimes are also getting down, and at the same time, these animals can be also saved, because the tribals are they have a very special affection towards animals. They as a they're a part of their life. But now, due to the lot of forest encroachments and due to their economic viability, poverty, so these are some of the tribal youth and other marginalized sections of the society youth. Therefore, entering into the wildlife crimes unnecessarily they spoil their precious lives. So, whenever you see any such situations like any wild animal has been trafficked and all, the first thing is you need to contact the Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. They have their toll-free number present. You can search in Google also, you can get their toll-free number. So you can contact them. And if you are happen to witness in an airport, there is a customs department for every airport. So where you can maybe if you happen to see if you are traveling in a plane, so you happen to see the animals have been like any of the like when you are coming out of the departure during the flight from the departure, you notice that some person is unknowingly taking the suspicious thing. You can immediately report to the customs department of the airport or the concerned airport. So where they will check the identity of the person and also they will check the scrutiny. They will undergo the different type of test uh, uh, as per the customs rules and duties, and they will do that. And once they found like any suspicious animal lying over there, they will seize the animal and they will hand over to the forest department or else Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. So at the same time, the animal can be sent to the wildlife rehabilitation center. So crime can be stopped, but only it requires through a lot of education, awareness, and sensitization. So that's all I want to share. Thanks a lot, everyone, for patiently listening to me. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And not we can end the session. Thanks a lot, Ravindra sir. I'm done. E.R. Ghanshyam Das. Yes, sir. Hello.
घनश्याम जास्ती अब बात कर सकते हैं.
Okay, sir. Okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
I was working in HL Lucknow and now retired.
Yes, sir.
In Lucknow, there were dogs inside the plant, about 10-15 dogs roaming. So management had decided that they should be killed and kept away because they were creating nuisance. So is it not a cruelty, in fact?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is a cruelty because you cannot kill an animal or relocate an animal. The only sustainable way is to sterilize them.
Yeah.
To sterilize and vaccinate them. I think you are staying in Lucknow, no, sir. You can contact the Lucknow Nagar Nigam. I hope you are aware.
No, but it was not known to the Nagar Nigam even. That was secretly they were doing it. So I had a heart with those dogs. So I did not say anything to anybody, but I think it's a cruelty.
Yes, sir, it is a cruelty. In Nagar Nigam, they have collaborated with an animal welfare organization also, sir. So there is a sterilization going on.
Yeah.
You can reach out to the Nagar Nigam of Lucknow. So where they will sterilize these animals and they vaccinate against the rabies, sir. You can meet them once or else you can contact them over phone also.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
In Chhattisgarh,
Hmm.
There are elephants.
Okay, sir.
They come in the groups and they destroy the agriculture.
Hmm.
So it's very dangerous to the human being also.
Yes, sir. The problem is, sir, most of the reserve forests they have been used as an agriculture crops.
Yeah,
So the crops they act cultivated are actually sugar canes and other.
yeah.
So what actually have cashew nuts and all. So what happens is, so these actually attract the elephants.
Yeah,
So nowadays, what it happens is because of the forest encroachment and all, the elephants are not getting the proper food and water. So what it
yeah,
happens? So they entered into the human habitat.
yeah,
So mostly the area which used to be reserve forest, now it has been converted into agriculture land.
yeah.
So the crop cultivation is there, and one is there. Mostly they are farmers. So the
Yeah.
cultivation is there, the survival is there. We can't say them that no, you stop cultivating. That is not
That's not possible.
sustainable. That is not a
Yeah,
sustainable way also. So
yeah.
one thing we you can do is like the forest department over there, the state forest department, Chhattisgarh for state forest department.
Yeah.
So they can organize. They will be having this elephant monitoring committee.
Okay,
So this elephant monitoring committee, there will be a collaboration between the tribal people and the forest department. So they will be pick some people where they know about the animal movement, the tribal
okay,
people most probably because they will be staying in the forest, no sir. So every nook
okay,
and corner they will know about the elephant movement and all. So when we
okay,
notice that there is an elephant is there, the forest beat officer will be there.
okay,
Every forest department there will be a forest beat officer. So the
okay,
beat officer duty is to suppose they will be given a certain portion of a area. So
okay,
to like when there is their responsibility is to ensure that the wildlife the animals has to be taken care. They should not be injured. At the same time, the human lives can all has to be saved. So they collaborate with these. I mean to say for the locals, and they will immediately identify this, the identification of the animal like the elephant movement, and they start to tell the local community people when the elephants are there, please don't move to the particular location. So they will either use a WhatsApp message or they will also publicly use an announcement also, sir. So you can discuss with the forest department once, sir, the Chhattisgarh Forest Department. I hope there is this surveillance is there. Hello, Ghanshyam ji. We lost.
Congratulations, Pradeep.
Thanks a lot, sir.
So anyone else would like to share? Feel free to share because this is the last opportunity for all of us on occasion of World Social Work Month celebrations. So feel free to share, raise your hand. Again, we have to wait for another 1 year. I think if there are no further queries, it's time to say goodbye to World Social Work Month. So we thank all the participants and presenters of these celebrations of International Conference on Social Work, Social Sciences, Medical Health, Allied Sciences and Technologies, Intergenerational Solidarity, Health, Well-being, Environment and Sustainable Development 2025. Commemorating World Social Work Day, World Social Work Week, World Social Work Month 2025. In collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Well-being, and also International Federation of Social Workers, Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development, EQ for Peace Worldwide, and Curate Foundation, SNR Consulting Engineers, International and National Fraternity, and all other social workers, social work organizations, and allied organizations who have collaborated as part of this international conference and also World Social Work Month celebrations. We express our heartfelt gratitude to all of you, all the participants, all the social workers, especially, and all the professionals, scholars, students from different disciplines, and the general public who have joined from across the globe and made it a grand success. So the feedback form will be circulated to your registered email ID. Those who have not registered are requested to register because the feedback form will be shared on the website, and along with that, you will be also receiving the instructions to complete the formalities if not completed. In another week's time, after checking all the details and formalities, we'll be issuing the certificates for everyone. So so we have different kinds of certificates like participation certificate and presentation certificate for presenters, participation certificate for participation for each day, and we have animal welfare workshop certificate for those who are attending animal welfare workshop, and we have quiz certificate for those who are attempting the quiz, and we have open day certificate, those who have shared opinions. So make sure that whoever is participating in respective events are completing the formalities appropriately so that you are getting the respective certificates. So see you all in the next day celebrations. So we express once again our heartfelt gratitude to all of you, and we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form before leaving the platform. And we wish you all the success for your future endeavors on the occasion of New Year. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.